Hi everyone, good afternoon. This is Mrs. Joe, and I know that we have a subtraction test coming on up next week, and usually I'll do an Instagram video or I'll do something that is on our Instagram page. However, I kind of think that we need to go a little more in depth today, and I want to have this video lasting a really long time, so for future classes, they have a good idea of what to look for when we're doing subtraction. So I'm going to be doing some practice today. But before I get into that, I want to kind of address a few helpful hints and a few misconceptions that I'm seeing with our students when they do get silly errors. So the first thing I want to remind students when they're doing this is to remember to subtract top to bottom. And what I mean by that is when you have a question and it's going 7 minus 3, okay? We always subtract from top to bottom. So we're going 7 minus 3 equals, it's probably going to be 4. However, we're going to be seeing students who are very, very eager to subtract. And when they are doing a word problem or a 2-digit subtraction problem, they're going to be seeing things like this going on in the ones place, right? And they're going to be thinking, oh yes, I can subtract this. 0 minus 8 is 8, which is incorrect. Well, I mean, we can do negative numbers if you really want to get into that. But for our purposes right now, 0 minus 8 cannot work. So this is not going to exist for us for our means today. So we're subtracting top to bottom. Please, please, please remember to subtract top to bottom. Second thing. We have kids really trying to go ahead and they forget to check the ones place first. So we're seeing 2-digit numbers. Eventually we'll get to 3-digit numbers. But when we are examining a potential problem here, if we're looking at the tens place first, we might really miss a few steps in between. So let's do a few examples that have been on your kids' homeworks, and let's start right there. So 50 minus 18. The first step is to check the ones place first, and we're subtracting from top to bottom. Usually I'm giving them the idea that if we cover it up, it might be easier to see. So, when your kids are doing math fact practice at home, they will never see 0 minus 8, right? You can even draw this arrow here. 0 minus 8 doesn't work. So, in order to do that, we cannot do the ones place. We need to go over to the tens place. Borrowing is a term that is not used anymore, so we're going to be using the word regrouping. I'm going to be regrouping, so I can take a 10 from the tens place, and I can transform this 50. That 5 tens can become 4 tens, and because we're transforming the number is not going to change. The 0 in the ones place is going to be a 10. So again, 50 is the same thing as 4 tens and 10. 4 tens and 10 ones, okay? So now can we subtract in the ones place? Yes. 10 minus 8, that exists. 10 minus 8 is 2. Then we can do the tens place. 4 tens minus 3 tens, 4 tens minus 1 10 will be 3 tens. So this is my answer right here. Let's keep on going with another problem using the same kind of academic language and same math vocabulary has been using before. We always check the ones place first, so we're covering the tens place for now, remembering that we're subtracting from top to bottom. You can draw your arrow here. 3 minus 7 should be what? Should be what? Doesn't work, so we go to the tens place, right? Then we're going to transform this number 43. It's the same thing as 3 tens and 13 ones. What we're doing is, if we're taking a 10 away from the tens place, we're adding 10 ones to my ones place. So my ones place should be great now. 13 ones minus 7 ones is 6 ones. And then we have our tens place. 3 tens minus 1 10 should be 2 tens, and that works. Sometimes there's going to be a really, I call it easy peasy, where you look at the ones place, like in number 8, and you go, can I subtract? I can. I've seen a math fact 9 minus 7 before, so then I go, okay, easy peasy. 9 minus 7 is 2. 3 tens minus 2 tens is 1 10. Didn't have to do any regrouping there. But normally, we will be testing a lot of regrouping for the math tests. So just to know that there is a difference, but we might throw in a few of these once in a while. Let's do one more, and we'll go across the 0 here. 60 minus 35, again, you can cover up the tens place. Let's look in the ones place here. Okay, 0 minus 5, I cannot do that. That doesn't work for me. I don't have enough ones to subtract, so we are going to regroup. Let's go to the tens place to get a little bit of help. When we regroup, that 6 tens can become 5 tens, and that 10 we took away in the tens place, we can add it to the ones place, so that 0 becomes 10 ones. 10 ones minus 5 ones is 5. 5 tens minus 3 tens is 2 tens. So we had to regroup for these three. We did not have to regroup here. Another thing that's going to be on your child's exam coming up next week are quite a few word problems. Yes, they might be able to do, a stacked method, I call them stack method, like this, but being able to figure out through reading something, am I doing addition or subtraction? Am I adding or subtracting? And what is that going to look like? Let's look at number 10. Julie has 42 sheets of paper. She gives 17 sheets to carry. How many sheets of paper does Julie have now? For your children, I've really been trying to remind them, first of all, circle the important numbers. We have here 42 and 17. Those are great numbers to start off with, okay? Now, the second thing is to try to figure out what is this problem. What's happening in this problem? What is it asking me to do? Well, first of all, we can read through reading comprehension. She's giving something away. If you're physically giving something away, normally I'm thinking in terms of addition and subtraction that we are doing some subtraction here. So something is being subtracted. Julie has something and she's giving something away. That's subtraction. So we want to know how many sheets of paper does Julie have now? Some of your kids might be very comfortable writing a number sentence first to kind of get their thoughts together. 42, this is subtraction, she's giving something away. 42 minus 17 equals, and they don't really know. So question mark, box, I don't care what they write here, but we have an unknown right here. So once they have this kind of figured out, then they can show me their work. Sometimes they do a picture, sometimes they are doing something that looks like this. I'm going to show you both today because it might ask them to do both ways. So tens, ones. Whenever we're drawing a picture, we want to make sure that we're drawing the bigger number, obviously, because we're taking away the smaller number. So 42 is going to look like 4 tens and 2 ones, and we're taking away 17. So we look in the number, checking the ones place first. In my ones place here, I need to take away 7 ones, and can I do that? I cannot. There are only 2 ones here. So I'm going to take away a 10 here, and we're transforming that 10 stick into 10 ones. So now in the ones place, I should have 12 ones, and then my tens place, it's 1 less 10, so that's 3 tens. Can I take away 7 ones now? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That leaves me with 5 more ones in the ones place, except I am not done yet. I think another good piece of advice, if I could just add one more heart here. Don't forget the tens place. So let's look at this 10, 17. How many tens are in 17? There's 1 10, so I need to go over here. Let's cross out a 10, and I'll circle the leftover so you can visually see what is left. Right now, in my picture, I have 25 left, 2 tens, 5 ones. Let's see if I can do the same thing with a stack method and get the same answer. 42 minus 17. Check the ones place first. 2 minus 7, I cannot do that if I'm subtracting from top to bottom. So I'm going to go transform that 42 by regrouping. 4 tens becomes 3 tens. And since we're taking a 10 away, we're going to add 10 ones to the ones place. 2 ones plus 10 is 12 ones. So we can subtract now. 12 minus 7 is 5 ones. 3 tens minus 1 10 is 2 tens. I do get 25 for both, so hopefully I got the right answer in general. That should be 25 as my answer here. But what if, let's say, your word problem, okay, does not have a big hint that says something is being given away or something is eaten up or used up? Let's talk about that. Comparison. Jimmy went to the toy store. He saw 23 wooden trains and 41 plastic trains. How many more plastic trains and wooden trains did he see? So again, we're going to circle those important numbers. That's the first thing, easiest thing we can do. But if we're looking here, we are not seeing anything like an action taking place. Instead, we are seeing that there's a group of wooden trains and a group of plastic trains. Sometimes you can actually make a picture here, like a bar model, right? We have 41 of these plastic ones and 23 of these wooden ones. They're asking how many more plastic trains than wooden trains did he see? So let's say this is plastic, this is wood. We want to know what this number is here, the difference between the two. So kind of being able to visualize that, if you want to come up with a number sentence, that would be, well, 41 minus 23 is going to give me this unknown right here. Okay, and so from there, let's do stack method really quick. 41 minus 23. Okay, let's start off looking here in the ones place. 1 minus 3, I can't do that. A lot of your kids on their practice, they actually did try to subtract, which again, we cannot subtract 1 minus 3. That's not a math fact we practice. So we're going to go to the tens place. And in the ones place, we're going to transform the number 41. It's going to become 3 tens and 11 ones. And if we actually try this out ourselves, if we add 3 tens plus 11 ones together, yes, you're going to get 41. It's the same thing. 11 minus 3 is 8. 3 minus 2 is 1. So my answer should be 18 more plastic trains. So again, this type of problem is more of a comparison problem. And when you're comparing numbers, to find that unknown of how many more is there than the other, that means we're subtracting 2. This word more can get your child really confused because they're thinking, oh, there's more, then I add, right? But if they're really understanding the language of what this is asking, how many more trains that are plastic are there than the trains that are wood. So we're comparing two groups, kind of like Mrs. Joe ate like 15 cookies and, you know, Mrs. Clarkson just ate 1. How many more did I eat, right? So we're comparing two different groups and two different numbers. So just want to let you know, hopefully your child will be studying at home a little bit, but we'll be doing a lot more practice in class, especially with the word problems. But just to let you know, there will be two-digit subtraction problems that need regrouping, as well as these two types of word problems where there's an action taking place, or there actually might be a comparison type of problem there. So hopefully you're able to review with your child, and hopefully this helps. Okay, have a good day.